Welcome back, everybody, to the newest episode of the TJ Martino podcast. It's your boy here on the microphone, the boss with the sauce, the slipper with the dripper, TJ Martino. And we got a pretty good show today because it's not just going to be me here rambling into the microphone while you walk on your commute. And thank you for listening, those people on your commutes. Whether you're going to class, I know school has started back up. Can you believe it, people? We're going back to organized life, and the chaotic nature of the summer is over. But yeah, so whether you're listening on your commute to that or, going to your 9-to-5 job of employment to make this world a better place, thanks for listening. Thanks for, letting me enter your ear canals. So, like I said, this is not going to be an everyday episode because I have somebody with me in the studio today. My first inaugural guest on the TJ Martino podcast. Yep. Give it up for Austin Adams, a good friend of mine.
What's
Austin,
up?
how are you, man?
I'm great, Tej. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. I've been
really
trying to
honored.
get somebody on here for a while. That's the thing that I've been just kind of missing is just some back and forth, some conversation, and that's really like the reason people listen to these podcasts in the first place is just to hear, what people have to say, right? I guess.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Thank you for having me. I'm
man.
honored. I'm honored to be the first guest on the 3J to DJ, TJ to Boss Main podcast.
The winner with the spinner.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna keep making up those rhymes. That's gonna be just a thing now. But yeah, so how you been, man? Last night was really something. If you didn't know, this is we're recording this on Sunday, August 25th of 2019. If you're listening like 10 years in the future, how you doing? You probably are getting this played to you in some crazy, highly sophisticated technological manner. So
it's like listening to a Walkman right now.
Yeah,
they're listening
exactly.
to us,
It's like listening to something from the 80s, an 80s radio show.
But yeah, so we kind of had a crazy night last night.
Right, yeah. Anyway, back to that. Wow, what an absolutely bizarre night here in Columbus, Ohio. Last night around, what was it, 1:30 a.m.?
Yeah, like 1:30.
I was in my home, relaxing, and apparently some gunshots went off at the McDonald's on High Street in Columbus, and nobody died, right?
No,
a guy got shot in the leg, right?
Yeah,
that's what I read.
I can't find anything.
But you would have thought, like a nuclear bomb went off in Columbus,
pretty much.
like. And I mean, I'm not saying that they blew it out of proportion because obviously you have to, be cautious of that stuff, especially with it being,
Exactly.
2019 and all of the, shootings that we've seen. It was pretty crazy to just get those messages. And I think it kind of caused a lot more hysteria than there needed to be.
I think, yeah.
But at the same time, it was definitely necessary. So I'm not saying that.
Yeah, it's definitely necessary. Definitely not trying to knock,
Yeah.
emergency management kind of. But I think with social media and everyone's got their smartphones all the time, it's like it kind of gets blown a bit out of the water. But still, I mean, obviously not trying to downplay it.
Yeah. And I this obviously wasn't like an active shooter situation that, we've seen on the news recently in Dayton, Ohio, which is dangerously close to here.
Yeah.
And also in El Paso and all of that. But in the sense that this, I think, was just some sort of dispute. I don't know the details of it. But Austin and I both live very close to that McDonald's. And the police
it's down my back
were
alley.
out, man. Like, there had to be, 10, 15 cop cars around that McDonald's area, man.
There was even more on High Street. I didn't see. I wasn't there, but on High Street there was looked like 20 cop cars.
Yeah,
maybe.
it was crazy. And I think what I read from the police report was that in the parking lot area of McDonald's, a man in a black hoodie and a cowboy hat shot another guy in the leg, and the other guy like crawled into the McDonald's with his leg like bleeding, and then like ran out of the front door of the McDonald's, took a right, and like fell onto Pita right in front of Pita Pit, and like couldn't get up. And then that's when the cops showed up, luckily. And shout out to the Columbus law enforcement.
Thank you, Columbus PD, for doing what you do.
And another thing, I love the Columbus Police Department. Like, they are literally, they are awesome. Like, they're not like the typical a-hole college police department that like think that they're all like that by coming in and like shutting down parties.
I've never
the
really
only
seen
time the cops show up is when
down.
they're called, and that's because they have to be there.
Unless like it's like multiple times and you get annoyed, like like people are complaining about noise, and if they only shut stuff down if they come back like the second or third time.
Like,
So at that point, it's like it is what it is.
Yeah, it's like at that point you are just being a disturbance. Like it's not like that, but the cops are very understanding, and that's how, like, it's like they realize like Columbus is like there's a lot of crime in Columbus, and I think that they realize like that is more important to attend to than a bunch of kids playing loud music and getting drunk. Like at the end of the day, like, and I do definitely admire that about them, and they were there and responded great. And but I guess the thing is the OSU emergency Twitter account was just, I think, a little bit too lenient on this, in the sense of like they were like, "Oh, it's all clear. Like, so don't worry. Like, here, you have the tweets up. Read the tweets."
We got. Well, the first one they rifled off was not the first one, but their recap. They say police say one person shot, suspect fled and is no longer in immediate off-campus area. Which again, I'm not a cop, but I mean, if you're following this dude, how do you know he's off, immediate off-campus area, but you don't know where he's at? I don't know. That's little pieces of the puzzle maybe you could put together. I don't know. And then it says the second one was suspect targeted specific person. It wasn't a random act. Again, kind of leaves an open window. Like, how?
Yeah.
I mean,
this whole thing was sketchy, and it was freaking everybody out because we're all like, this guy like might just barge into my apartment right now and like hold us all hostage. Like, I don't know. Like, if he's nearby, and like the cops are like rolling through the streets, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is crazy.
And they obviously have experts working on this, so they know I have the opposite of expertise in a field of a live shooter, but obviously they know that it was a targeted act. So apparently this guy who got this poor fellow who got shot in the leg was targeted by this guy in the cowboy hat. Mr. Cowboy ran away and was never found, at least to my knowledge. And then so they put out a tweet saying it was all clear within about a half an hour of the news breaking. And that we're all like, because I was in my room, and then my roommates, I heard commotion going on, and I heard a bunch of sirens outside, and I was like, those are really close. So I got up to look out my window, which is facing 17th, and so I saw the sirens, and I was like, something's going on. And then I get up, and all my roommates are freaking out, and they're like, dude, there's cops everywhere. They're in the front and back of my apartment. And so that was just, it's definitely just really, it was really crazy, really hectic. And like they called the all clear, and there was still cops like walking around, checking in between cars in our parking lot, like in the backyard. And so it was just like they said all clear, but I don't know, maybe they were looking for, shell casings, whatnot. Who knows what they're looking for?
Blood drippings, who knows?
But I mean, it was definitely not all clear. I wasn't given my fight or flight in my my natural instincts wasn't giving me the all clear. So, definitely just a crazy kind of situation going on, especially to happen all at like 2 a.m. when you're kind of winding down, about to go to bed, and then you're like, oh, there's a shooter about 100 feet away.
You're literally at the McDonald's. But the scariest thing is, and this is like one of the last things we're going to talk about with this is, okay, so last night, so I've been trying to, like eat healthy and be healthy, right?
Be on that grind.
But when Saturday night comes around and, you had a long day, the best thing you want to do is just get some greasy McDonald's in your system, right? And so it was about 11 p.m. and I was gonna walk over to that McDonald's and get, you know, a McChicken and maybe a little bit of a small fry or something. Who am I kidding? Maybe even a large fry.
A large. I was gonna say
even 10 nuggets. You know, who knows what's gonna happen when I walk in there? You know, when I go to McDonald's, it's always a very
Crack Donald's, as I like to call
Crack Donald's. It is always a crapshoot of what I'm gonna walk out with. But so I was like, let's hit Mike's. We're making a Mike's run. And because I like to call McDonald's McDonald's, because I think rapper Plies, shout out to him, he calls it that, so I like calling it that too. I think it's funny. But yeah, so I was just trying to make a McDonald's run at like 11:30, but then we get there and it's packed. The parking lot's packed. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to wait in this line. Screw this. Turn back around, and I was like, you know what? We'll come back at like 1:32 in the morning, and we'll be fine. And that was the plan. That was the plan. Listen, that was the plan. I was gonna come back at 2:30, 1 to 2 a.m. That was gonna be my time slot, because that's usually the time I like going to McDonald's. I don't like going there when the sun's out.
If you go
not
to
a chance in hell.
McDonald's when the sun's out, it's like watching a horror movie when the sun's out.
It's like vampires going in the sun.
Doesn't
you don't
work.
go. You don't go to the Golden Arches in the sun.
Nope.
But so I was like, 2 a.m. will be good. I decided instead at like 12:30 to order some steak and shake from Uber Eats.
Got some delivery.
And that was the best decision I think I've ever made. Because if I would have been at that McDonald's, with that whole thing happen while I'm at the counter trying to order 10 nuggets and I see that guy bust through the door bleeding,
I'm trying to order.
I would have absolutely gone just ape shit.
I'm trying to get some McNuggets and fries, and someone's getting clapped outside.
Right.
And
I would jump over the counter probably.
And keep in mind that if there was a list of America's top 10 worst McDonald's, this is definitely on that list.
Oh, it's definitely the top 5.
It's definitely it is by far the worst McDonald's ever.
Ever run, ever assembled.
McDonald's, if you're listening, I hope you are.
It doesn't even have the best.
You need to fix the North High Street, Columbus.
Because I love
Ohio,
McDonald's. McDonald's, I love you guys. And I hate to say this, but it's the real truth.
It's just
like,
bad service. It's really slow. There's always a huge line, and you're always just like real pissed when you're in there because you're like, I want some McDonald's, and it's just not gonna happen for a little while.
And they're missing. And I get like you're in a busy place, but they're missing the drive-through too. I mean, and I get logistically how they couldn't put that in there.
Logistically, it can't work, but
but still, like that's just
it feels off.
The McDonald's drive-through is just such a classic spot. Used to go there and just act like I had no idea what I was ordering.
And now I'll never walk by that McDonald's ever again without thinking someone got shot right here.
Was bleeding all over the floor here.
Literally.
Shout out to the guy that had to mop that up.
Yeah, but I was gonna say I want to go in and be like, yo, you guys good? Who had to clean that up?
Right.
What's the procedure on that? Yo, we got some blood out there. Some dude got shot. Like, oh, okay, just another day in the office at McDonald's.
Right. So at least no lives were lost, and hopefully the
guy
that got shot is okay.
Speedy recovery.
And hopefully they have caught the gentleman in the cowboy hat, which is another thing. Negative shout out to the cowboy hat guy.
I don't know why.
Don't bring your weapons to McDonald's. Come on, guys. But now we're gonna move on to a segment that I'm introducing for the first time, and it is called the Sights and Sounds of the Week. And eventually I'm gonna get like some sort of music for that or something dope. I don't know. We'll get into that. But basically how this is going to work is we each picked out like 3 to 5 things that we think are that we have seen and that we have heard. So 3 things we've seen, 3 things we've heard. And with sites, it can be anything: movies, television, a post, an article, a book, a sporting event, a show that you may have seen, a concert. Maybe you went and saw the Empire State Building or whatever. It could be really anything. It's a very broad topic, but it's mostly movies and TV and stuff I'll be talking about because that's like a lot of what I do in my free time, but also, stuff in my life. So, and then for sounds, it's anything that I'm listening to, whether it be songs, albums, other podcasts, radio shows, anything of that nature. So, and Austin and I will be weaving in and out. So like I'll have him obviously go first, and then I'll give mine and my site, and then he'll give his site, and then blah blah blah, and we'll move on from there. So, we're gonna give this a try. So, Austin, what is your first site of the week?
My first site I got on deck is the John Mayer concert. I was lucky enough to go see John Mayer in concert in Columbus about 3 weeks ago, and that was really cool. I think even if you're not, you can definitely appreciate how good he is at his craft, because he's probably one of the greatest guitarists of definitely our lifetime, but maybe ever. And so seeing him in person, and it was just crazy because it sounded like he was recording, like he was a recording, even though he was just sitting there playing it live. So that was really cool to like experience something that's like, wow, this is crazy talent right here, like right in front of my eyes. I guess it's a sound too, because it was he's obviously playing music, but it's crazy to like and it was a time because I'm a huge John Mayer fan. So he walked out and I was like, wow, that's like actually him, like no wax figure, nothing, like that's a real human right there. So that kind of like that, awestruck experience is definitely really cool. So that was pretty exciting for me.
Yeah, Mayer is really great. I was actually so upset that I missed his concert. I was at Lollapalooza the weekend he was coming to the Shot, but I heard it was a really good show. And the thing I like about him though is that like he's very like on the fly with stuff. Like for instance, we got a video for work for my internship. I got a video of him doing a gender reveal for someone's child on stage, which was really cool.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
It was kind of weird. But
that was cool, but I was like, all right, what's going on? Like, they're doing a little gig here.
Well, I think he thought it was going to be a girl because he was singing Daughters.
No, so I was so confused. And I asked the person, like, next to me, I was like, what is it? Like, what is he doing? I don't know. So he sang, because it was a boy. So he went into the boys will be strong, they'll soldier on line. And then I was like, okay, you said boys, but the song is called Daughters. So I was just a ball of confusion.
A ball of confusion.
And so I didn't know what was going on, but it turns out it was a boy. So congrats to them. They got their...
Yeah.
Imagine being a baby. You're like, yeah, my gender reveal is that John Mayer.
Yeah, John Mayer revealed my gender to the world.
He linked up with my parents for my gender reveal. That's huge.
Yeah, but so that was really good. So what was your favorite song that Mayer did?
I like Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. That's a great song.
Let's see. He kind of did. I liked Who Says. I didn't think he was going to play Who Says, and that's kind of one of my favorite ones. Who Says You Can't Get Stoned. So it's just like, that was a great song. And honestly, every song he played, like it kind of just went one into another, and I was just like,
yeah, I
don't really know. Like it was just all, and they had like awesome lights and stuff in the background, so everything was really cool. Stop This Train is one of my favorites, so that was really good. I mean, just seeing all my favorite songs was like really cool, because I've been listening to John Mayer forever, and he just played like all of my favorite songs pretty much. So that was really cool. And he played, actually my favorite song that he played is called In Your Atmosphere, which I don't think it's on an album. I'm pretty sure he only plays it live. So that was really cool, because I listened to a live album of his that you can get on Apple Music or Spotify or whatever, and that song's on it, but it's a live recording, obviously.
Okay.
So hearing him play that was sweet. So that was just really exciting, because like it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
He was just so good live.
Yeah, he's
and
very
just like appreciating that is really cool.
What I heard from the people that were working it was like that Mayer did a lot of songs, because like he has such a big catalog of music that like people love. So it's like I heard he did a lot of like music that he wouldn't usually do. Like he didn't do a lot of like the big hits. Like they said he only did like a couple of like the big hits.
Yeah.
And then most of the time just did like a lot of like deep cuts that he likes to actually play.
Yeah.
Which is like sometimes like with a guy like Mayer, like he sounds good doing like any song that he does. So like it doesn't even matter if you know the song or not, because you're just gonna enjoy like watching him play it.
I think
he enjoys playing
the
that
cool
song.
thing is he just shreds the guitar. Like
yeah.
there was more emphasis on him just like just playing the shit out of the guitar. Like, I mean, just
He's
every
legit.
song you realize it, because I mean, obviously he's a guitarist, and like every song has like good guitar riffs and whatnot. But when you're like watching him and listening to him play it live, you're like, wow, this song, like you hear more, if that makes sense. Like you hear stuff you didn't hear before, even though it's the same notes and everything. You're just like, wow, this song was really like this is an amazing guitar riff right here. Like, so that's just sweet. I mean, it was really cool.
He's excellent, honestly.
I
need to see him because I only saw like bits of the concert.
Yeah, I wanted to jump all over it because he's been going on tour with Dead and Company for years now, and I'm a big Dead and Company fan. I think that like that I didn't get to go to one of those concerts, so I was like, all right, he's going on solo tour now. I gotta go. Gotta cop the merch. Gotta get a T-shirt. You know, gotta spread the John love because I'm a huge John Mayer fan. So that was really cool. That was awesome for me. Yeah.
Now we're gonna go on to my first site of the week, and that is we're gonna go into my internet blues. This is basically the fact that I can't get the internet set up at my apartment, and it has become an absolute crisis.
21st century. Drama going on.
So this all started when I was moving in about a week or two ago, and I was trying to decide with my 5 other roommates what internet service we were going to choose. Here in Columbus, there's a few that you could choose from. There's AT&T, Spectrum. Wow. Those are like the 3 big student used internet services that a lot of students living off campus use. And WoW was someone I had experience with my freshman year and last year. And both experiences were very negative with WoW. So I was not very inclined to want to do business with them again. So they were off my list. So it was AT&T and Spectrum. And I know Spectrum very well. My parents really like Spectrum, and the Spectrum in Cincinnati is really good, but for some reason the one here in Columbus just like,
I think everything here in Columbus is just subpar.
Like the internet, the Spectrum in Columbus, I don't know what is wrong with them, but like they've literally come out and tried to fix our internet like one time already, and it hasn't, like, it stopped working literally 20 minutes after they left, and like I can't connect to anything in my room, and maybe it's because I have thick brick walls. I don't know what it is, but it has really screwed up my TV watching schedule, which is a problem for me because I can't watch The Sopranos, which has been the show I've been trying to finish for so long.
Oh, okay, that's such a good show.
And I can't even do homework. I can't even do schoolwork at home. I gotta come to campus to do schoolwork.
That's actually annoying. Like I'm trying to emphasize this year, like going on campus more to like do my work, but like there's some stuff where it's like I don't need to walk to the library to do this little thing on my computer real quick. I can just bang it out at home. And I agree though. I think I had WoW last year. I had Spectrum the year before. I have WoW this year again, and it sucks. I'm trying to play Fortnite, and it's not. I'm lagging. I'm just trying to chill out, and play video games with my friends, like my buddies online. And I'm lagging. Like it's more frustrating to play a leisure game than it is.
Have you ever been to the Spectrum store? I went to the Spectrum store to go pick up my my router and my modem, and it literally was like going to the DMV.
Yeah,
you literally go there and you put your name in it and you wait. You wait in a waiting room. They say go browse the store, and there's nothing to even look at.
It's literally
just sitting there with a bunch of people that are so frustrated and bored.
It's like, chairs and TVs.
It's like.
They have TVs up on the screen with numbers on it, and like who's in order, and it's like so that's the only thing. It's depressing when you see you're like 18th in line, and you're like, I'm gonna be here for like an hour, aren't I? You're sitting there just at the chair with your arms crossed. So. Maybe you're sitting at Spectrum right now listening to this podcast because
maybe you are 18th in line. Good luck. Good luck to you.
No, but that is
and you probably got the baby crying, like so impatient, and the mom's like breastfeeding while waiting in line. Yeah, screw that.
Yeah, no, it's a mess. And I was thinking about it because one of my friends online was like, "Oh, are you just playing off the Wi-Fi?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I was like, I guess like I don't have a wired connection, whatever, which is when you plug the Ethernet cable in straight from the router or the wall or whatever. And so I was thinking about it. I play off the Wi-Fi at my house over the summer, and my house, like, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm not close enough to the router. I'm closer to the router by like 40 feet probably than I am at home. Like at home, I'm in my basement on the opposite side of the house from my router, and at school, I'm on the same floor, maybe a few rooms away, but it's probably only like 35 feet away.
The thing is, your roommates get cutthroat when the Wi-Fi is on the line. Like when the Wi-Fi is down, it's like the Wild Wild West. Like everybody's tense. Everybody feels like they're like locked up in some like Stockholm syndrome. Like they all feel like they're locked up in some like wooden cabin in the middle of the forest. Like that's what you feel like when you have no Wi-Fi. You're just like I'm so isolated. And, like everybody's like so tense, and they're like, "When's the Wi-Fi getting fixed?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm working on it. I'm calling Spectrum. I'm on hold. I've been on hold for 2 hours. I don't know."
Yeah, but maybe it's just because there's like a surplus. Like there's so many houses packed. Like maybe that's why the Wi-Fi is a little
too much
shoddy.
Wi-Fi.
Too much Wi-Fi.
In 2019, we got too much Wi-Fi. All right, now Austin, what's your next site?
My next site, which is kind of like an angry site almost, is I watched Toy Story 4 the other night, and I was just extremely kind of just disappointed. I was just like, what is this? It was just kind of Toy Story 3, I thought they could have just left it, and like maybe they left it a little unopened, but I thought Toy Story 3 would have been a good end. I don't know. Toy Story 4 just felt like a kind of like a crapshoot a little bit, and it was like all over the place. I couldn't really follow it like that much. Maybe I wasn't paying too much attention, but like I just thought it wasn't as quality as like the first three, obviously, which are legendary movies. But I don't know. The third one was really good, so I was like, all right, the fourth, it should be okay. Like whatever. I guess maybe I'm being a little too critical of it. But I don't know. I wasn't very happy with Toy Story 4. I literally watched that a few nights ago, and I was unpleasantly surprised.
Interesting. Yeah, I did a movie review about this on YouTube, and I liked it. I liked the movie a lot, actually. I do get what you're saying, though. It was kind of unnecessary because, like, 3 was just the perfect way to end it.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's what I'm stuck on.
Yeah, that was definitely something that I was kind of hung up on. But, like, when you actually watch it, like, as a movie and it's really good, I'd say give it another try in a little while.
Yeah.
And see if you like it. But I get that complaint because it is kind of, like, unnecessary. But I thought they did a good job with it, with what they were doing, what they decided to do. I
thought, like, the actual... It was fine. I think maybe I'm just too stuck on the fact that like it wasn't as good as Toy Story 3.
Do we really need a fourth one? Like, yeah, it was a great trilogy.
Now it's just kind of they're just stomping all over my nostalgia.
And they're just gonna keep making them probably because it made a lot of money.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, it was an entertaining movie, and it'll definitely probably make my year-end list. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna check it out again though. That's definitely what I want.
Yeah, I'll give it another watch. But.
Speaking of movies, though, my second site is The Terminator, TJ's underrated movie. This is The Terminator, the original from 1984. A lot of people love the second one. They swear by the second Terminator, but I actually like the first one better, and that's kind of why I think this is an underrated movie. Because I just recently watched it again because I own it on Blu-ray, and since I've had no Wi-Fi, I've had to watch a lot of movies through physical media because
going through the Blu-ray library.
Yeah, Blu-ray movies never lag. They never have bad quality. They're never shot on someone's camera in a movie theater.
Yep.
They always sound amazing, and they make old movies look new. So I have a lot of like the old 80s movies I used to watch when I used to get Blockbuster, and I bought them all on Blu-ray, and they all look pretty good. And I got the Terminator, and I was watching it. And I realized how much I love the movie. Have you seen The Terminator, the first one?
The Terminator is just so classic. Like,
it's so good. And honestly, like it's like the great cat and mouse game, and you got time travel and the whole thing with the whole crazy timeline of how everything like works, but it all like works so well. And like, it's such like an 80s movie, and like
it really is.
80s nostalgia 80s. Is so popular right now. So I think like a lot of people, like if you're looking for a fun like classic 80s movie that made Arnold Schwarzenegger like the big name that he is, and, like, why he has his own like bodybuilding convention here in Columbus, like
why he was a governor,
why he was the governor of California at one point, like this is where it started
Definitely
with the
gotta check out
Terminator.
the
The Terminator was like his first huge blockbuster movie. Like obviously, like Conan was like a big like coming out party, but this is like something
that's
special, man.
That's like his bread and butter, I guess.
And the effects in it do hold up for it being
an old movie.
Like, obviously, there's a couple of shots, especially at the end, towards the end of the movie. Without, I'm not gonna spoil it, but even though it's an old movie, but still, like for people that haven't seen it, like there's an ending where there's a character that doesn't look very good. He's kind of done like through special effects, and it just doesn't look as good as it probably did in 1984.
Mm-hmm. Probably in 1984, everyone was freaking out.
Oh, it was groundbreaking in it. But like there's like the scene with Arnold like doing surgery on himself is really, really, really well done. So the action scenes are good. The chase scenes, the Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor stuff's great. So definitely great 80s fun. So good movie. And then one last sight from you before we move on to Sounds.
One last sight. So this is a TV show I watched, which I don't think TJ has seen. So it's called Bodyguard. It is on Netflix.
I have not seen this, no.
And
kind of give like a Spark Notes.
So basically this guy, his name is David Budd. He is working as a police sergeant in London for what's called like the Royalty Specialist Protection Branch. So like they're high governing officials. So he's just basically their Secret Service. And he basically gets the woman he's working for is like very controversial, and a lot of people hate her and are out to get her. And basically some crazy stuff happens, and he ends up getting in some really sticky situations that he didn't try and get into. It was just because of his association, and there's kind of like some terrorism stuff in there too. So that it's like, I think it's 6 or 7 episodes. Yeah, 6 episodes, okay, 1 season. I've finished it all in one day. Super like, it's a cool, like, I'm super into like spy movies, and then special protection, like, White House Down or London Has Fallen, like that type of movie. That I like.
Yeah, those are
like
okay.
some stuff like that. Like they're definitely not like a crazy like, oh, that was the best movie ever. But like
they're fun movies.
Yeah, definitely a fun movie to like pass time. This one is more like in depth, and you're like, okay, this is like really cool. It's not like just some
kind of like Jason Bourne kind of.
It's not like a corny. Okay. It's not like a corny show. It's definitely really good.
Is it kind of like Did you ever see the show the Jack Ryan with John Krasinski from The Office? Yeah, was it any good? I watched like the first episode and I never got into it. But
I didn't finish that, but that was good. I would say that Bodyguard's a little less like corny.
Less actiony, more. Like,
I think maybe like it's the whole British thing.
That's always a good thing. Is the British politics.
I love
like
accents.
James Bond.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little. I don't know. It was really cool. So definitely gotta check.
Nice.
I literally watched that all in one day because I just wasted my life away on some Sunday over the summer when I didn't have work.
And then then we'll get into my last site here, which is the Andrew Luck retirement. We'll get into this really quick. Wow, this kind of came out of nowhere. Andrew Luck last night retired from the NFL, like right before their preseason game last night.
I think Adam Schefter
broke it. Yeah, he
nipped it in the butt. Which I'm not trying to diss Adam Schefter or anything. That's his job. It's literally his job to do that. But I don't think Andrew Luck was trying to retire right when he did. He wanted to. It came out he wanted to wait till Sunday. Till today.
Oh, so the news broke early.
Yeah. So the news. So then there was a funny tweet and Adam Schefter tweeted oh, the news broke a little early. He wanted to wait till Sunday, and someone was like, "Okay, so you broke the news. His
you're
retirement.
You're the one that just allowed the internet to just unleash. What is it? Force their will upon him.
Yeah,
I couldn't even speak right now.
Everyone's going crazy. People were booing him, which sucks to see that.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to see that.
But you got to think about it from the fans' perspective, too.
Dude, if you're at the game and then...
Yeah, and you just see Andrew Luck just, leaving the field, and then you see he retires on your phone, and you're like, what the hell?
You're sitting there, and you're like, I'm looking at him.
But
he's right there.
Our quarterback just is calling it quits. Like
It's
that's
like,
what it looks like at the time, and yeah, it
who
was kind of
retired-
unwarranted.
Who retired
but-
mid-game last season?
Oh, that was what's his name?
Oh, it was a linebacker, I think.
No,
or-
he was a corner. Shoot, his name is Vontae Davis.
Vontae Davis. I was gonna say
Davis.
Vontae
Like,
Davis.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Vontae Davis. Yes, he retired
dipped.
mid-game. And
So I guess Andrew Luck kind of
yeah,
stole the
Andrew
fire.
Luck was a little bit better, I guess. At least he didn't do that. But
Which, like, that's a bummer. Definitely, if you're a Colts fan, you're looking forward to the season.
Yeah.
You're going to be a contender in the AFC, and not really.
And Luck had a great season last year, and
That's just
is
a bummer. But obviously, if you're waking up every Monday like you got hit by a car, feeling like you're in a car accident,
I get it.
it's just a toll, dude. I mean, I couldn't do it, obviously.
Yeah.
So, kudos to him. It's actually going to cost him. I saw somewhere that it's going to cost him like
50. He's losing out on like $50 million.
not only that, but
something.
he has to pay fees. Like he has to pay like $12 million, in different disbursements
for endorsements.
to retire, like to legally retire from his contract. So I'll try and look up here, but I definitely saw.
Yeah, look that up. But while he's looking that up, we're going to get into the sounds of the week. Let's get into it. So and then you can chime in with that Luck stat. But my first sound is the AC Slater and Walker and Royce concert that I went to yesterday at Breakaway, or Friday night at Breakaway Music Festival here in Columbus. And look, I was like the most nonchalant I've ever been about going to a music festival this Friday. Did you get that Lex stat?
Yeah, so they reached a financial agreement. He could have paid them $24 million in owed money back to the Colts, but they reached an agreement, and actually they will not be taking back any of the money they are owed. So that's pretty cool.
So he got off on that.
And somehow in his contract he owes money if he retires early, probably, or
yeah.
Maybe he gave him, I don't know, contracts and whatnot. But so that's cool. he could have paid them a lot of money.
Yeah.
Luckily,
I think they were just like, that would make them look kind of bad too.
Yeah, it does kind of
like,
make
and
you
it's
look
like,
bad.
yeah. But no, back to what I was saying. Yeah, for all the house music fans out there, it was really, really good. Then I stayed for Young Thug at Breakaway for a little bit of it, and I wasn't that into that, to be honest, and I kind of wanted to go home, so I left after like midway through Young Thug, and yeah, I mean, Breakaway, to be honest, it was kind of okay. A lot of my friends didn't really end up going. And I got like a ticket last minute for below the market value, so it ended up being a good deal to see AC Slater and Walker Royce, because I'm a big fan of Night Bass, that label, and that's AC Slater's label, and I thought he was really, really great, and definitely was worth the $40 I paid my roommate for a ticket.
Yeah, I have not been to Breakaway ever. The lineup has never enticed me.
Yeah.
Too much. I mean, like I'm like, house music is cool. I'm whatever. It's not like I don't like it, but it's not something that I'm gonna.
It's not for everybody.
Go out of my way and go to a festival. That just seems kind of tiring to me.
Yeah, the festival scene is not for everybody.
And then Young Thug, Future. I mean, like, I like Young Thug and I like Future. I just don't think that they would be,
very entertaining,
crazy in person. I've heard. I mean, especially Future. Like, I don't like anything Future's coming out with lately. So I didn't. That was just not what I was gonna do. Definitely needed to relax a little bit before we get really into the grind with school here. So,
yeah,
but
I agree with that.
I mean, some people said they enjoyed it. It looked fun. Like Louis the Child or Louis the Child, whatever.
Yeah,
the pronunciation is on that. That looked really cool.
Yeah, Louis Child's fun.
Yeah, it looked really
go,
cool.
But
so
I heard it was really fun, and Bass Nectar I heard was really great too.
Yeah,
I've seen Bass Nectar.
Yeah,
too.
I heard people talking highly of it.
Yeah, no, Bass Nectar's
so
got
cool.
a great light show and just some crazy bass music.
Yeah, exactly.
He's one of the pioneers. So, yeah. And then, what's one of your sounds? We'll get to these really quickly.
So
we'll rough through
sound.
these.
I'm kind of disappointed because I was really looking forward to this, the Chance the Rapper album.
Yeah, I talked about this on my channel.
And I was just I was just upset with the quality of it. I think there was like, how many songs are on there?
Way too many for its own good.
Too many, exactly. And I don't find myself listening to any of them anymore. Maybe like there's like one or two maybe that I'll play, but I haven't listened to them in a little while. And I'm a huge Chance fan, so that was kind of upsetting.
Yeah, it was.
Because, like, Acid Rap Coloring Book, really good. Like, amazing, honestly. Still listen to them all the time. And he
22 tracks on that Chance
22 tracks. That's just too much. And a lot of them, like, I just, like, was like, this is horrible. And I skipped it, like, right away. And even when it still comes on, I'll be like, all right, now.
Yeah.
But that was just kind of upsetting. I was like, let's see what Chance, like... And he's been kind of just selling out lately. Like, there's just no other way to put it.
And he was like known as like the independent darling. Like he was known as the guy that
and
was
now
like,
he's literally like the most kind of like mainstream. And that he made his wave
product
off of not being mainstream and being like, I'm not gonna
with
sign
his like
a deal.
unconventional flows and like his creative tracks. Like Acid Rap is a really, really good project.
And these weren't really even creative. I want to say like. They weren't, like, out of the box. They were just weird. Some of them were just, like, dumb.
Boring.
And
some of the worst bars that Chance has ever had.
Worst lyrics he's ever had, by far. It's just upsetting. Because, like, I was so hyped. I was like,
everybody, like, has
he
been
really
on his
could have
train,
dropped something
and
crazy.
I've always been, like, I've never been, like, I wouldn't consider myself really a big fan of Chance. I think he's okay. I think he's had a really good project. Acid Rap and his other two 10 Day and Coloring Book I could give or take. There's a couple of tracks on both those that I like, but for the most part I don't really find them that interesting, and Acid Rap was really good, but since then Chance has just gotten more and more uninteresting.
Yeah, I don't know, sad to see. Hopefully he's come on some good features lately.
Yeah.
He's good on features still sometimes. Like unless he's doing one with like Cardi B and you're like, I don't want to listen to that.
Right, yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully he finds that more creative tone that he used to have. So that was just kind of my first sound. Another one that I'm kind of upset with, but you know, such is life.
Yeah, chances give or take for me, but my next sound is Disconnect, the project Disconnect, an EP by Phantoms. I really, really am digging this project a lot, man. If you like, you know, it's got like kind of like a poppy dance music vibe to it. If you don't know Phantoms, they're a duo. And I'm a big fan of a lot of their stuff. Say It, that track, really, really good stuff there. And then I like the track 5 a.m. It's like this really like nighttime banger, kind of chill vibes. And there's a lot of like just really fun, accessible house music on here that like if you're trying to get into house, it's definitely one you should check out. It's more poppy, more sing-songy. But definitely still at the same time has that bounce that I love. So definitely want to check out there. And then, do you have another one?
Yeah, I've been super into Pardon My Take lately, the Barstool podcast.
Yeah.
I think that they are comedy geniuses. Their names are Big Cat, which is Dan Katz, and PFT commentator.
If you're a college kid, you already know.
Which I'm...
what these
Eric
guys...
Solenberger. His name's Eric, PFT. I just had to find that out because they go by their names so strictly. But yeah, it's a good, like... as far as sports go, like, they both know sports, and they're extremely... they're in touch with the sports world, but they are also just hilarious. Like, they have the funniest people on. Like, they had Baker Mayfield on, and like they just they had Dr. Phil on. Like, they went on the road in like a conversion van, and they piled everyone into the back seat, and like the whole thing was like they're all in the back seat, and make it really awkward, and like it was just really funny. Like they're just some really funny dudes, and they just talk about, good topics, whatever is in the sports world.
Yeah, Barstool's got good stuff.
There's little stuff. I mean, there's stuff that I hate, and then there's stuff like this, which I just think is gold. Like, I think Pardon My Take is one of my favorite podcasts, if not my favorite podcast right now, besides the TJ Martino podcast.
Yeah, that's definitely the best one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. It's really cool. And, like, I listen to the Foreplay podcast, which is, like, I'm super into golf. So their golf podcast is actually crazy good, too. And I know that Spittin' Chicklets, the NHL podcast, is, like, really top notch. So
yeah, so shout out to Barstool.
They got some good, like, little niche, like, podcasts going that are, like, really, really quality. I know Barstool's got, like, that kind of, like, douchebag, stereotypical college, like, frat guy vibe to it, and people like love to hate on that. But I mean, if you listen to Pardon My Take, it's quality. They talk about what's going on in the sports world, so it's just like any other. You're not gonna miss out on any sports news, but with just some humor in there. Who doesn't love some humor? And those guys are just really funny. So I've been into them lately and been listening to a lot of their stuff. They do a Mount Rushmore every episode, which is like they pick like 4 or 5 of their favorite things of some certain topic, and then they also do a fire festival. So their Fire Fest of the week, which is like their disaster, like their worst hardship of the week. Like sometimes it'll like for you, your Fire Fest of the week would be your internet not working. That's your Fire Fest of the week.
Yeah, it's
so like they're just like they have some good humor. It's a good time. Like I definitely check them out. It's it's
cool.
fun.
All right. Then lastly, I want to get into my last sound, which is Dr. Dre's The Chronic 2001.
That's like, I think that's really funny that you want to talk about that, because that is my favorite album of all time.
Oh, seriously?
By far, 100%.
Oh.
It is like the exact rap that I like. That
gangster
old school
rap.
Gangster rap, like I'm like super into that. I know I'm just a typical normal white kid from the suburbs, but like that's my favorite.
Yeah, I love it.
Some of my favorite rap.
I love the very gruesome, vivid bars.
Oh, it's crazy.
Sex and drugs.
Their lyrics are nuts.
Violence and alcohol. It's all very fun stuff. But this is just like was a huge deal because this was kind of like the passing of the torch to the next generation of gangster rap. I mean, this is coming at the beginning of the next century, so for Dre to come out and show that he's still Dre and he's still got it, like all these years later, because of how influential the Chronic was during its release, but to come out with this crazy project with all of the classic Death Row and now Aftermath names like Snoop Dogg, Devin the Dude, Exhibit,
6'2",
Hitman, Corrupt, Nate Dogg, Dog Pound.
He's even got Mary J. Blige on there.
Yeah.
That song's really good.
Yeah.
The Message.
The Message, yeah.
I love that song. It's like...
Yeah, so what are some of your favorite tracks from this?
Oh, gosh. I mean, whenever I pull it out to listen, I start with Still Dre.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that one's just
classic.
Like, classic tune, just like, love that song. You can't go wrong with that. I let Big Egos play. Explosive. I've been thinking about this for probably like over a year now. I think Explosive is my favorite, probably one of my favorite top 3 songs of all time. That's like
good.
The beat in that
it's so good.
Is like crazy addicted. I'm like addicted
forever sampled.
Addicted to it. The lyrics are hilarious. When you get later into the song, there's just some funny, gruesome lyrics that are like real
the raunchy
rap.
bars, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Corrupt's always coming through those raunchy bars.
Crazy funny,
Nate Dogg's bringing back that Ain't No Fun sing-songy flow on there. Yeah,
she been beeping me and shit, but we don't kick it no more. Like that. Yeah. Like just little stuff like that. Like they get way more gruesome, and that's like really funny. Forgot About Dre, obviously, is another like classic sounding song.
This album helped propel Eminem to the level that he became.
Dude, like there's
Just off
the
of his
car
features
bomb.
on
Like
here.
the car bomb is
The
like a
car bomb
random
is-
song. Like
yeah.
literally, like
It's
a
crazy.
car bomb goes off. Pause for porno is just super weird if that
Yeah.
song comes on and
Pause
you're with
for
your
porno,
friends.
yeah.
And there's literally like a porn. It's like porn's playing. It's
Yeah.
like you open up a video on Twitter
Yeah.
that you thought was gonna be a dog running around like barking, and no, it's just porn. So like that's like what Pause for
I
porno.
think Housewife with Corrupt and Hitman
Housewife's-
is an underrated track on there.
Yeah, Housewife is good. I like that song. Ackright is hilarious. Give a
Dude,
bitch some Ackright.
the ones
That is
I
just
love,
a
though, are-
funny song,
The ones
dude.
I love though, The Watcher, bruh.
Love the
What
Watcher.
dude, it's so fire to start off
Dude.
like that.
He's got Tommy Chong on the outro.
Yeah.
Hey man, like that, like the class Thomas Chong, dude. That's like what I can't like that. Just that
Yeah.
album is just one of my
And then
favorites.
I love, but
Really
some of my
hard to
favorite
beat that.
tracks on there are "Fuck You" and Devin
Yeah.
the Dude and Snoop.
That
Wow,
was-
just so fun.
Dude, I think Snoop
Catchy.
is so classic on
oh,
that
he's
album.
so
Like,
classic.
I think that's some of my favorite
And
Snoop
they're like,
of all
you know,
time.
this album's about these guys all being like OGs in the game now and like having to pass the torch on to the
Super
next,
OG.
you know, generation of rappers. But then you got Lightspeed. I love Lightspeed with Hitman. That's a nice
blazing chronic
track.
through the galaxy.
And then has loud, classic,
Cool, like-
Dr. Dre production.
Yeah,
on there.
no,
I
that
mean,
was-
just
that's a
one
cool
of the best
song.
produced projects of all time.
That's like that, like from when that was released. Like that's just I don't know. That's a cool sounding song.
yeah,
I just love that album. It makes me feel, way more gangster than I am. So that's why I guess that's kind of why I dig it so much. But Dre is one of my favorites, and I think that's, his best work. So, that's funny that that was on your sounds.
yeah. So now we are going to go on to a completely different segment here. We're gonna hit some NBA talk. Are you ready? We're gonna do another NBA off-season talk, kind of now preseason preview. I'm gonna be doing an NFL one here in the next couple of weeks before that'll come out before the season. But this is just kind of some NBA talk. I feel like there's still some stuff to talk about, even though these times are kind of dead. But we're gonna go into another division here, and this time we're doing the Northwest division. So we're just gonna go through some of the moves that some of these teams we're doing, and we're gonna we'll talk about it. So
See what went down in the
first
off-season.
team we got here, we're going to talk about Portland, the Trailblazers. So this team was really interesting last year. I mean, they had the Western Conference Finals run in the playoffs when everybody kind of thought like this team was kind of going nowhere. They got swept by the Pelicans 2 years ago, if you remember, in the first round. They got embarrassed in 4 games. And everybody was kind of like, okay, are Dame and CJ the truth here? Is this where we're going? Or does Portland just need to change this up? And last season, they made a conference finals run. I mean, it was really impressive.
Yeah.
Obviously, the incredible Dame Lillard buzzer beater against Paul George in his final game in OKC.
Nuts.
I mean, I watched that game live, and I was blown away. I mean, Lillard just was incredible. And then McCollum looked really great. In that, I think they played the Nuggets in that Nuggets series.
Yeah. Shout out CJ McCollum, Cleveland,
Yeah.
Ohio.
He just got paid. We'll talk about it. First things first, let's talk about who they drafted. Nasir Little from North Carolina. You know anything about this kid?
No, I do not.
He's got length and potential, but I don't really know too much about him. I didn't watch UNC play a lot last year.
Yeah, me either.
Interesting pick. We'll see what he can do. They traded Evan Turner for Kent Bazemore. Traded him to the Hawks.
Yep.
Shout out Ohio State.
Go Bucks.
Bazemore, I think, can help them with shooting. That's what they need more of. And then Lillard, the Supermax. Let's talk about it.
They gave him a Brinks truck.
Yes, certainly. I mean, he's owed $43.75 million his first year, then 47.2, then 50. He'll be the first player ever to make $50 million in the NBA for one season, and
Which
then
is
his
crazy.
Final year of this extension will be $54 million. He's getting a bag. That's for sure. But I think he deserves it, man. I mean, he is the focal point of this team. He's a leader, and he makes big shots, and just, the dude can shoot. Nothing else to say about that.
Yeah, you can't hate on it.
They
Like,
also got...
man's getting paid.
Yeah, he's getting it. Rodney Hood coming back for 2 years, $16 million. But they lost Seth Curry to the Mavericks, so they lost shooting.
Yeah.
But you're a Cavs fan. Any thoughts on Rodney Hood?
I think I liked Rodney Hood. He didn't play to like full potential in Cleveland. It felt like it was a classic. He left Cleveland and kind of like blossomed a little bit. He was playing really good last year, and so I think that's good for them. They got him for a few more years. But yeah, definitely like it seemed like he played a lot better once he got away from Cleveland. So that's cool that he's out there. What you said, they signed him 2 more years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 years, $16 million. I think 80 years is fine. Sure, Hood's got athleticism, and he actually played well for them in the playoffs last year. So we'll see what he can do.
Yeah.
And as for Curry, they lost shooting. So Curry actually made some big shots for them in that playoffs, especially in that Warriors series.
Yeah, no. Seth Curry was playing really
waxed.
good, so that definitely hurts.
But yeah, then you got the Jimmy Butler trade. They got Hassan Whiteside. And they gave up Mo Harkless and Myers Leonard. So they gave up some talent. But,
yeah,
Whiteside, we'll see what he can do. He's a good rebounder. But, offensively, he's pretty challenged.
Yeah.
Then they lost Jake Layman. He went to the Timberwolves, which we'll talk about. And they got Pau Gasol for a really cheap veterans contract. See what he can do. Teach the young guys some things. Maybe teach Whiteside how to score the ball. And then they gave C.J. McCollum a bag too, $100 million for 3 years. They gave him an extension. So, shout out.
Yeah. C.J. McCollum is a baller, and we're trying to get him back to the Cavs. So
yeah,
good
back
for
to
them.
Cleveland.
They locked him up for 3 years, so that's pretty sick.
I don't know. We'll see. I think Portland just needs to make a move for somebody of talented big man that can actually help on both sides of the floor.
I feel like they've been just lurking out there, like as a prominent team that has just done pretty much nothing. Yeah. Like, but not saying like not trying to discredit them, but they're always around, but not close enough to where you're like, oh, Portland, and you're like,
look out for the Blazers,
Yeah. Has anyone ever said that? I don't think so. So like,
it's been a while, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Hopefully they can do something here, because I love Damian Lillard. I think he's one of the obviously like best in the league, and I would love to see them get some success.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna see what Lillard can do. But yeah, so then we got the Thunder. They got Muscala. And I think they got rid of him, so whatever. And then they got Alec Burks. He was on the Cavs.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on him?
No. Not really. kind of flying under the radar a little bit.
And then obviously they got the Paul George trade, which was just an absolute haul.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, this is all news at this point, but yeah, really, really crazy stuff. I talked about this with the Clippers mostly, but they got Gallinari, who could shoot, Gilgeous-Alexander, who's a good ball handler. I don't know what they're going to do with him and Chris Paul together, because we'll talk about the Chris Paul thing. But they got Gilgeous-Alexander, and then they got 2 pick swaps, like I said, in the first round, and then 5 first rounders, which they used. OKC, then they got Jeremy Grant for a first rounder, so they're just stacking more picks, getting rid of bad salary. Then the Russell Westbrook trade, which was rattling, and they got Chris Paul, 2 first rounders, and 2 pick swaps. So basically, and then they lost Patrick Patterson. So a lot of crazy moves for the Thunder. We'll see what they're gonna do with Chris Paul. They've been trying to move him, but that contract's so ugly. I don't think they're gonna be able to get anything for him. So I don't know. Maybe he can just help mentor Gilgeous-Alexander and see how that runs. But this team's not gonna be very good. I don't expect too much from them, but they have a lot of bargaining chips, so they could definitely make some moves if something happens. So look out for them. Nuggets. Let's talk about the Nuggets here.
Nuggets made a few moves.
Yeah, a little bit. They obviously last year were a really, really good team. They got Ball, and they traded for him. I don't know about this guy, to be honest with you.
Honestly, I don't know.
He's lanky. See. Who knows? He's kind of a crapshoot. The jumper is a crapshoot. This guy could be really great or not. They paid Millsap too much money. They gave him $30 million. But, they're keeping the core alive, so I get it. And Millsap plays good defense. He plays hard. He's a good locker room guy, I heard. So, sure, we'll give him.
Another, solid team that's just,
Yeah, and I think the one thing that they did wrong here was the Jamal Murray deal, the 5-year, $170 million. That's just way too much for this guy.
That's a lot.
I'm kind of low on Jamal Murray. I think he can obviously score, but in that playoffs, he had some ugly, ugly performances. And then you got Kevin Porter Jr., who's the guy that got last year, who's injured and has been dealing with injury issues. So who knows what the hell he's going to do and if he's going to have any value. But they got him for a good deal. They got him 13th overall, so we'll see.
Yeah, see what happens.
Yeah, and then you got Jeremy Grant as well, who they got from the Thunder. But yeah, so outside of overpaying, Jamal Murray, I think this team will be in good shape to be a good team.
Yeah, I think they'll be solid.
Yeah,
I think
salary is just going to become an issue for them down the road.
Yeah,
for sure, because they're just overpaying a lot of guys that
they're kind of locked
aren't
up.
as valuable as. But at the same time, you do got to keep your core because somebody was probably going to throw a bag at Jamal Murray. So, I didn't hate the move, didn't love it, meh. Then you got the T-Wolves. Let's talk about the T-Wolves. This team is an absolute dumpster fire right now.
Literally a dumpster fire.
The whole entire deal with Wiggins, who knows what he's going to do? Is he going to run the point next year? Because they lost D Rose. Is Wiggins going to be the point guard? Because, you got to commit to him at this point. You threw him all that money, and he's not really worth it, but you got to stick with it. And who knows what that is going to happen with this team. It's just a really bad situation.
Yeah.
In Minnesota.
So as a Cleveland fan, it kind of makes me happy that we didn't.
Yeah, you guys getting off of Wiggins was honestly brilliant.
And people were giving us crap.
They certainly were.
And so I guess it worked out. I mean, we did what we did. We got away without losing anything there with Wiggins. It's actually funny because in Draft Day, the song by Drake, he re-released it on his...
I forgot to mention that. I think I mentioned that in my care package talk on this podcast, and I said that song, Draft Day by Drake, does not hold up at all in 2019.
It's Johnny Manziel...
and Andrew Wiggins.
Wiggins.
It does not hold up.
I mean, you somehow, the only thing, I don't know, Johnny Manziel is obviously a hilarious dumpster fire of a career.
A situation in and of itself.
And then, Andrew Wiggins, typical Drake, trying to just be a mainstream.
Well, he's from Canada. Andrew Wiggins is.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, so that's the connection there.
Still, but Andrew Wiggins, Drake's trying to be cool and predict a superstar basketball player. It's always super cool now to throw a basketball player into your lyrics in rap songs.
Yeah,
and there's probably 50 basketball players in rap song, maybe more, in mainstream rap, and It's just some of them. It's why is there a rap song made about this guy?
Yeah,
but Andrew Wiggins, it's just kind of funny because
the Mo Bamba thing.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of hilarious.
Kind of, question mark. Well, we'll talk about him when we talk about the Magic at some future date. But let's see what that team can do though. I don't know.
Kind of no expectations for him. So.
Honestly. Then we'll get into the last and final team here, the Utah Jazz. This Mike Conley trade was really something. It was they traded with the Grizzlies. They gave Grayson Allen, Kyle Korver, and Jay Crowder and the 23rd pick and a future first-round pick for Mike Conley. So Utah's really going for it this year. I mean, they wanted to get some shooting and some defense next to Donovan Mitchell because, yikes, after that Team USA lost last night to Australia. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but yikes. But Mike Conley, I think Utah is going to be a lot better.
Yeah, I think they're going to be solid.
I like this move. And then they went and got Bojan Bogdanovic for 4 years, $73 million. This guy's another shooter. He plays pretty decent defense. He played really good defense in the playoffs, I think, a couple of years ago on LeBron when in that Indiana Cleveland playoff series that went 7 games. So the guy can shoot, he can score, and they got rid of Derek Favors, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah,
He went to New Orleans, so it'll be a nice little fit for Bogdanovich and Conley, and I think the Conley pick and roll game with with Bogdanovich or pick and pop game with Bogdanovich and maybe a little bit of pick and roll with Gobert rolling to the rim. I think that could be really good stuff. And then they got Emmanuel Mudiay, Jeff Green, two guys they got for cheap. So we'll see what they can do.
I think they're gonna be solid.
I think they're definitely in a better position than they were, and I think they're getting a lot of championship buzz because I think this team has a lot of potential to be good, especially towards the playoffs. But yeah, that's pretty much all we're gonna say for that. And we got a few minutes left. Anything you want to talk about before we wrap it up and get out of here?
Now that we got the McDonald's thing out of the way, the McDonald's shooting, I mean, there's really nothing else.
Yeah.
After
that was quite the event, but
yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's not much. I mean, football's about to start. I'm excited.
Yeah, football season's starting up. We got a busy fall coming, but I'm gonna keep trying to crank these podcasts out as much as I can. But Austin, man, thanks so much for coming on here with me, man. It's been a lot of fun.
I'm honored to be the first guest on the TJ Martino podcast.
It was awesome. Anything you want to plug? Anything people should check out? Social media? Anything of that nature?
No, I don't want to plug myself, but go Browns. I mean, that's all I got. Go Browns, baby.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Follow me on social media. I'm plugging all my stuff at TJ Martino, no spaces, on Twitter and Snapchat, at TJ.Martino on Instagram. Check me out there on those social medias. Check out my podcast here on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud. And keep listening on your commutes today. And you know what? Get something done today. Change the world. Make this place better for everybody else. Set some goals. You know what? Be productive today. You may want to sit at home and watch Netflix and stuff your face with cookies and cream, ice cream, but that's not the way to live. Go out there and do something. Change the world. Sit in front of a microphone and talk.
Just speak.
Yeah,
just let the juices flow.
Yeah, just let your creative juices pour into the river of knowledge. So on that note, I think we're gonna get out of here. Thanks for everything. Hit me up on social media. Check out the podcast. Check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com. TJ Martino. Just search me in the search bar. Hopefully I pop up. I don't know. Shout out to the 22 people subscribing. Shout out to everybody that's listening. We'll talk to you later. And peace out.
So long.